Good evening, Bahamas. You're tuned into MB12 Weekend, broadcasting from Cable 12 studios on Robinson Road. Coming up tonight in news, the Minister of National Security says the rise in poverty is not shocking. Could we be facing a water shortage? Plus, the Save the Bays organization says it's the watchdog for the Bahamas environment. Happy Father's Day to all you dads out there. I'm Paige McCartney, and we've got those stories and more straight ahead on MB12 Weekend. Welcome once again to MB12. The announcement by the Department of Statistics that poverty has risen by 3.5% over the past decade or so is not surprising to Minister of National Security Dr. Bernard Nottage. Nottage, who represents the inner city constituency of Bainstown and Grantstown, said the increase is an indication of the dire economic position the country has found itself in over the past several years. Last week, the Department of Statistics revealed that 43,000 people were living in poverty in the Bahamas. Nottage told MB12 that even though government has an ongoing initiative providing assistance to people who are impoverished, the numbers reflect the challenges government continues to face.
I wouldn't say that they're shocking. It is not unexpected that in a prolonged recession and that the long-term effect would be, particularly with unemployment, would be an increase in poverty. You must remember that those figures are, I think, 2011 figures, 2012 figures. Those are not today's figures, and I'm not sure what a review of current figures would show.
To improve the efficiency of its social welfare programs, government has implemented the cash transfer program to make it easier for those in need of food, rent, education, and other forms of assistance to receive it from the Department of Social Services. According to statistics, more than 12% of the Bahamian populace lives on just under $4,300 a year. The household expenditure survey was taken in the first half of 2013. The last survey was done in 2001. Nottage said the drastic change indicates the severe impact caused by the global recession, but he said the economic builders government has in place should help lower the rate of poverty over the next several years.
The good thing is, however, that over the previous 5 years prior to our becoming the government in 2012, there was very little foreign direct investment in the country. And the growth in the economy was not what was anticipated. I think that we should be comforted by the fact that there is increasing foreign direct investment going on, not only in New Providence but throughout the Family Islands. And so I would expect that over the course of the next 12 to 18 months, we should have some positive impact on the poverty levels.
Nottage said addressing the economic challenges in the country should also improve crime, of which he says poverty is considered a contributing factor. And from the crime beat tonight, police are investigating a murder that occurred overnight in the Tall Pines area. According to police, it was around 10 last night when a man, we understand to be 26-year-old Renardo Brown, while visiting a female friend at Cedar Terrace in Tall Pines, was approached by a man with whom he was familiar. The man produced a handgun and shot him in the abdomen before escaping the area on foot, according to police. The victim was taken to hospital where he later died. Brown's brother was also murdered in 2011. Police investigations continue. Meantime, police say they have arrested a 33-year-old Garden Hills man in connection to an attempted sexual assault and stabbing incident that happened at a Seabreeze home on Thursday. Officers of the Flying Squad unit were tipped off about the suspect's location at a motel on East Street South. Investigations into that matter are ongoing. Well, despite millions of gallons of water being pumped out by a reverse osmosis plant, experts insist the country is dangerously close to a fresh water crisis. They add that the water problems are compounded by frequent hurricanes, climate change that leads to rising sea levels, and contamination of the water table. Our Jasmine Brown has details.
Fresh running water may seem abundant, but officials insist it should never be taken for granted. Currently, the majority of water supplied to consumers in New Providence is provided by the Water and Sewerage Corporation's reverse osmosis plant. The Blue Hills Expansion Desalinization Plant has an installed capacity of 4 million gallons per day. However, Chair of COB's School of Chemistry, Environmental, and Life Sciences, Dion Hepburn, says with the plant relying on electricity to power it, if the power goes off, that could spell trouble.
If we have a major storm and the electricity was to leave us for a while, then we would lose that capacity.
Hepburn is spearheading COB's Water Initiative, which is designed to draw attention to the issue and to help formulate policy solutions to safeguard fresh water supplies for the city now and for the future. He added that there is a new issue on the horizon. Dramatic growth in tourism over the past 2 decades has resulted in rapidly increasing demand for fresh water, even as the supply continues to decrease.
We have much development that is going on. They will also require large sums of water in order to produce the product that they have been created to do. And so, therefore, we have to make very strong considerations as to the amount of water that is available to maintain these projects, and also how will that affect the Bahamian public. We have limited water resources.
Meantime, Executive Director of the Bahamas National Trust, Eric Carey, says groundwater cannot be relied upon as years of bad practices have caused contamination.
They're being lost because we have this dependency on reverse osmosis. And of course, you have developers looking eagerly at a lot of the water reserves throughout Andros, Abaco, Grand Bahama, etc., because now they say we can make water.
Carey and Hepburn are pushing for an environmental plan to be established so that more options of water production can be explored. Reporting for NB12 Weekend, I'm Jasmine Brown.
And the Bahamas Electricity Corporation Chairman Leslie Miller says claims by the Bahamas Electrical and Utilities Managerial Union that there's no contingency plan for the summer months are baseless. Last week, BEUMU President Clinton Minnis said load shedding was imminent because there was no backup generators to help the load demands of the peak summer months. Government spent $10 million on rental units last year, but Miller said government made an investment in permanent equipment last year.
Please tell this man get a life. Please. I want to tell him that publicly. Stop the lies if you don't know what you're talking about. We had rented those generators, not we, the former government rented those generators because BEC didn't have the capacity during the summer months to enable us to generate sufficient electricity for the Bahamian people. That contract was up. We have put in a new engine, the 30 megawatt, which is at Blue Hills where he works, so he should know better. Once that new engine came on stream last year, there was no need to have the backup generators. He knows that, and that costs us $7 million a year, by the way. So why would you spend $7 million a year when you could purchase your own generator?
Miller said the board takes its responsibility to the Bahamian people seriously. However, he questioned whether the union has the consumer's best interests at heart.
His main concern should be we're trying to ease up off BEC with the financial aspects of BEC, like help pay some of the $11.5 million that we put every year into the pension fund, and also help to pay for the medical plan, so you can take the burdens off the backs of the ordinary Bahamians that are suffering under the high cost of BEC electricity.